If you hear any noises, that's my animals. Both of them are actually right here. I would turn the camera around to show you guys if it wasn't a tiny bit messy over there, so I'm not going to. But they're both sleeping, like, right there. Oh, my laundry's done. Hang on. Hello, dudes! I had 2 video ideas that I wanted to do this week, and I'm just gonna do them both. So I'll still be posting on Saturday. That'll be the Q&A. But I figured today I would start reading some of your guys' paranormal stories. Since the video I posted last Saturday, I have gotten so many Instagram messages of you guys sending your paranormal stories, which is awesome, but I feel like if I let it go any longer, I'm just gonna have too many and I won't be able to find them. So I figured the sooner I start reading them, the better chance I have of getting to read all of your stories that you guys want to be read. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I'm really excited. I haven't read any of them yet, like none of them, because I wanted to be surprised on camera, because I figured if I already read it, I would know what was gonna happen. And this way, it's like I'm hearing it for the first time just as you are. So it's gonna be an experience. Don't know how many I'm gonna read. I guess we'll just get started, and yeah, I'm excited. Also, I will only be saying the first name of the person whose story it is, just to keep their privacy. So I know I literally just said that I haven't read any of these. I lied a little bit. I read this one 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. That was before I posted the video asking for your guys' stories. This story isn't really scary as much as it is like touching and like heartwarming. I know that hearing like creepy, scary things happening with the paranormal is very interesting, but I just love this story so much because it takes on a different perspective of paranormal happenings. So I'm gonna read it first. So this story is by Kinley. I think that's how you pronounce her name, Kinley. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. It's a story where the ghost of her grandfather tucked her in at night. So to preface this, my parents' house was originally my great-grandparents' house that my papa built back in the 40s. He died in that house around 2005. My great-grandma, after his death, swore up and down that she would hear him walk up and down the creaky stairs all night for months after his death, until she eventually died of Alzheimer's. When we moved into that house, it was immediate that we noticed strange activity in the house, and at one point I did see his full-body apparition on the bottom floor. We would hear loud footsteps when the entire family would be eating dinner in the downstairs dining room, so I became accustomed to what his footsteps sounded like. It never scared me, and I just got used to those things happening, and I would say, oh, that's Papa. Well, one night when I was in high school many years ago, my parents, for their anniversary, went downtown to spend the night at a nice hotel, and I would be home alone all night since I'm the only child that still lives at home. From where my bedroom was at the time, I could still see down the entire stairs hallway from the end of my bed, and it was around 10, and I was on the phone with a friend laying at the foot of my bed so I could see down the hallway. I heard the footsteps come up the stairs and pace to the other end of the hallway, opposite way of my bedroom, but there was no one there. The footsteps started coming toward my end of the hallway, and they became very loud, and they stopped right in my doorway. The footsteps went back towards the middle of the hallway and eventually down the stairs. It didn't scare me, but I was stunned that he was being so present. I eventually got off the phone and went to bed. My mom had this routine from when I still lived at home, and she did this routine every night since I was young. She would open my door and come into my room while I was sleeping, sit on the edge of my bed on her phone for a minute, then turn off my TV and go to her room to go to bed. Side note, this is a really old house, so the door to my bedroom was really hard to open, and a lot of force had to be used to open it, and it had a very loud creak to it when it was being opened. That night, I was in that sleep state where you can tell what's happening around you, but you're just asleep enough not to care. I heard my door open, just as it would if my mom would open it, and I felt someone sit on my bed for a few minutes. My TV turned off, the covers were pulled up under my chin, and then my door closed all the way, which is hard to do if you don't know how to close it. I figured that my parents had changed their minds about staying downtown for the night, and my mom was just doing her routine as always. The next morning, I wake up and go downstairs to see my parents like I do every Sunday morning, still thinking that they came home really late the night before, but they weren't there. I checked the driveway and the car wasn't there. I then called my mom to see where they were, and she was confused, saying that they told me they were staying downtown overnight. They never came home, and I came to terms that it was my papa that tucked me in that night. It doesn't scare me because I know it's him by the feeling of his presence. I still feel him around the house when I go there to visit, and I just know that it was him that was making sure that I was taken care of when no one else was home. It's a crazy story, but that is my favorite paranormal experience. See, I think that's so cute. You hear too many things about like really scary like demons and dark entities and dark blobs that you don't ever really get to hear about like the sweet things that happen with the paranormal. I don't know. I just thought it was cute and I really wanted to share it. So Kinley, thank you so much for sharing that story. I really, really enjoyed it. So this next story is from a girl named Alex. And yeah, I guess we'll start. I grew up in central Pennsylvania in a city called Lewistown. This city is very well known for some pretty crappy things, but that's not very important. My mom moved around a lot, and she wasn't exactly the best mother on the planet either. The apartment we stayed in for the longest was also a few doors down from my nan's house, my great-grandmother. Since our mom didn't take very good care of my brother, sister, and me while we were growing up, we would visit my nan and would sleep at her place frequently so we could get baths and have something to eat. Sleeping at nan's was always a terrifying experience, but for some reason I could never get myself to avoid going there. My nan had 2 full-size beds in her room against opposite walls. One bed was for her, and the other was one that my sister and I shared. At night we would change into our nightgowns, and my nan would play her CDs of very old country songs, the ones that seemed very eerie. After my nan would turn off her CDs, she would turn off the light and fall asleep very quickly. She whispers while she's asleep, which is very entertaining to my sister and I to listen to my nan babble about numbers and names. Soon my sister and I would get tired enough to assume our normal positions in bed and try to sleep. I would sleep next to the wall because I was very tiny and my sister would sleep on the other side. I would always find myself staying awake past everyone else. I would think about what toys I wanted to play with the next day, and then I would always think of this red plastic ruby ring my nan had grabbed from a yard sale for me years ago. I had no idea what happened to this ring because it was no longer in my nan's jewelry box, but it was my favorite. Every time I thought about this ring, I wondered if it would be in the crack between my bed and the wall. I took my skinny arm and crammed it through the crack and started feeling for the ring. I knew the ring wasn't there. This wasn't the first time I felt compelled to search for it in that spot, despite knowing the outcome of my search was always the same. Moments after trapping my arm between the wall and the bed and exposing my tiny hand to whatever lived underneath the bed, something with long nails would always grip my wrist so tight it hurt, and I would try so hard to pull my hand back, and I couldn't do that until the monster decided to let go. Oh no. One time, I remember accusing my Uncle Mike, who lived in a separate bedroom of my nan's house, of hiding underneath the bed at night just to grab my arm. He quickly pointed out that I was being ridiculous because he was a fairly heavy-set young man who wouldn't fit very well underneath it. I soon switched sleeping positions with my sister so I would no longer feel the urge to look for my plastic ring at night. This ring story is far from the only story I have of my nan's house. I would love to share more if you'd like. Girl, yes, please do. Send me more. That's definitely, like, creepy that, like, I don't know. The fact that you never saw it is good. I don't know. But, like, long nails and, like, it grabbed you. Like, ooh. Ooh, I don't like that. I'm glad that whatever it was would let go of you, though, and it wouldn't, like, try to pull you or anything. I don't know. I think it was just trying to, like, scare you. It wasn't trying to, like, do anything, like, malicious to you. But, like, that's scary. I'm sorry you went through that. Especially at, like, such a young age. No thanks. No thanks. So this next story is by, I'm so sorry, Evangeline, Eva, I don't know. I'm so sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I probably did. She says that she has a lot of scary stories, but this one is short and horrifying, so sign me up. My friend and I are from San Francisco. We were sitting on the staircase leading up to the entrance of the subway, BART, like the BART subway, you know? Maybe not. Staircase. It was around 3 to 3:30 in the morning, and the BART is closed from 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. So there was a large gate blocking the entrance. When you sit on the stairs at the Millbrae station, I think that's how you pronounce it, I suggest you Google Millbrae BART because this may be confusing to visualize. The reason I like this story is because I was actually just at this station back in October for TwitchCon. TwitchCon this past year was in San Jose, California. Me and Alex flew in to San Francisco and then we took the BART to that station and then took the other one all the way to San Jose. I don't know what the other train is called. So I know where this is and that's why I'm so excited about it. It is completely open. You can see the Cal train track. That's what it is, the Cal train. So we took the BART and then we took the Cal train. But we were at the Millbrae station for like an hour and a half because we missed the first train. So I know exactly what you're talking about. It is completely open and you can see the Cal train track and the BART track. While we were waiting for the station to open, we saw this being walking in the middle of the subway tracks. I say being because it was not a ghost, but human-like. We could not identify its gender, so I will be referring to it as it. It was about 6 feet tall with terrible posture, no hair, very pale ashy skin, and a huge overbite. Its teeth was what really got me. I'm not sure if my mind could comprehend what I was seeing, but honestly it seemed like its teeth went almost to its chin. Its hands were by its side. Its fingers were human-like, but long and gangly, like it hasn't eaten anything for a while. As it walked, we couldn't hear footsteps because it was shuffling its feet, but you could hear them scuff against wooden panels and rocks. We couldn't believe what we were seeing. We knew it was there, but when the BART employees cracked the gate tall enough for us to duck under and close immediately for us to enter about 20 to 25 minutes before the station opened, which has never happened in other circumstances, we knew someone else working there must have seen it too and let us in. From looking at the picture that you said, I think that we were sitting in the exact spot, which is crazy. That's so crazy that like you sent a story of exactly where I was like a few months ago or several months ago. I don't know how long it was ago. Thank you so much for sharing that. I really enjoyed it, especially because I know exactly like what you're talking about and the layout. I was just really excited about this story because I've been there, so it was really cool to hear a story about that. I do wonder what it was that you saw, if it was like just like a random ghost or if it was like a being, like, you know, like there are like different paranormal beings like the Mothman, the Goat Man, there's other mans. There's just like a bunch of different like paranormal like sightings kind of like one specific creature. So I wonder if it was maybe something like that, maybe like a lesser known one, just because you say that it had like teeth to its chin. And to me, I don't think that sounds like a normal paranormal being. I don't know. I could just be maybe like making that up, but that's interesting. That's interesting that it had like very exaggerated features, like long fingers and long teeth and And then the last one I'm gonna pull from a YouTube comment just because the first 3 were from Instagram and I just want to get a little bit of a variety. This one is pretty long, so I think it'll be a good one to end on. This user's name is Kina. While I'm editing this, I realized it's probably pronounced Kenna. So Kenna, I'm so sorry for pronouncing your name wrong. So she says, in 2014, my cousin came to visit and I hadn't seen her in about 2 years. So obvious, 7th grade me had to post a picture of her on my Snapchat story. After about an hour of it being up, one of my friends texted me asking me what was in my closet and saying that I must have had a poster or something hanging on my closet door. I looked at the picture and in the black space behind my cousin, where my empty closet shelves were, because I'm short and couldn't put anything up there, there was a woman standing, staring at us. We immediately sprinted out of the room and told our moms, who told us we were crazy and definitely did something to edit the picture, which is not true. I wish I could send the picture on here, but I don't think I can. I would love to see that picture though, by the way. If you have like an Instagram and you're comfortable sending me the picture, I would love to see it. That sounds terrifying, actually. People who catch things in pictures, like I've never caught anything in a picture, knock on wood, but oh, I just woke up my dog. Apart from like the Snapchat filter thing, but that was like a filter catching on something. It wasn't me catching like an apparition behind me or something. So cool, but so creepy at the same time. But anyways, my cousin left and I never really thought anything of it. But I had definitely become more aware and interested in paranormal things because of it. I remember getting sleep paralysis a few times and always feeling like there was something there, but it wasn't a big deal. Pretty much everyone experiences that. A few friends have slept over and experienced some weird things, but I was never sure if they were just freaking themselves out since they knew this story, but anyways. A few years later, me and my mom found a local medium and were really interested in it, so we decided to go. During the session, one of the spirits that came through was a girl with a name that started with an M. She was 16 to 20 and died suddenly, and that was all she could tell us about her. We had absolutely no idea who it was, and couldn't think of anyone in our lives who she could have connected to, so we brushed it off. In that session, we also discovered that while my third eye is open, and I have the ability to see if I wanted to, my older brother is unknowingly communicating with people on the other side. Ooh. My mom told my brother, and they decided the next time he came home, they would go back to the medium. Me and my mom happened to get in a heated debate the day before their session about whether or not the picture was real, and we decided that I would send her the picture and she had to show the medium and ask what she thinks. When my mom showed the medium, she instantaneously said that it was the girl with the name that starts with an M, ages 16 to 20. She died suddenly and was attached to a family member with the first initial K, me, but was able to find the light. When my mom told her that story connected to the first time we went, the medium figured that because she was able to communicate through the medium to the other side, she most likely found the place she needed to be. Ever since that, I have been able to see and feel presences. My boyfriend's family friend who passed away quite suddenly is constantly hanging around their house, and I have seen him walk in and out of rooms. I have a little boy in my car. I have only ever seen him in my car. I don't know, I figure he died in a car accident or just enjoys my company in the car. But he will sway his head to the music and he likes to tug on my hair when it's hanging over the seat. There is a shadow figure that hangs out in my closet, and I'm pretty sure he's an evil spirit, but nothing has happened yet. I sleep with a Bible under my pillow, and I say a protection prayer before I sleep. Just last night, I was watching your haunted apartment video, and I saw a little girl at the end of my bed, and I had to sleep in the living room since it was the clearest presence I have ever seen. That's so interesting. One, I'm really wanting to see that picture, so if you could send it to me on Instagram, if like you feel comfortable, like I would absolutely love to see it. Two, the fact that you have like a little boy spirit in your car who just loves to listen to music and like hang out with you is so cute. I love the paranormal, like it's so interesting to me, and hearing other people's stories is like me living them through you guys. Like I don't really necessarily want any more of my own. I haven't had any experiences of my own since the last video that I posted, and I'm kind of thankful for that. It's scary, but like it's so interesting. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to what I'm saying, just because like, I don't know, if you like scary things, then like it's that attraction that's like, I like being scared, but it's like, I don't want to experience it myself, you know? To everybody who's been sending me their experiences, thank you so much. I really enjoy hearing what you guys have experienced or what you guys have seen. I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to type these long stories to me just to share them with me. So I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If anybody else wants to share any stories, or if any of you have any more stories you want to share, feel free to either DM me on Instagram or just leave them in the comments. I would like to do a video like this maybe every other week. I want to be able to read everybody's stories who want them to be read, so I would like to do this kind of frequently as a series. Just as long as you guys want to share your stories, I'll be making these videos. So, but yeah, thank you so much. It was really interesting to read the things that you guys have been through. Like I said, if you have any other stories you want to share, feel free to share them with me. So with all that being said, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you guys on Saturday for the Q&A video. Okay, bye everybody. I'm gonna go to Dunkin' Donuts, I'm gonna get an iced coffee, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna film the Q&A video. So literally next time you see me, I'm gonna have an iced coffee. And I'm really excited about it. Alright, bye.